What's the biggest red flag when meeting new people? They don't really listen to you or pay attention to what you're talking about, but expect you to be totally engaged with whatever they say and act put out if you aren't. When they try to one-up you in everything you say. When they start talking about the tons of money I'm going to be making with their new business venture in selling knives door to door. They put others down and talk about their other friends in a bad manner. When the first thing they tell you about themselves is all the hardship and unfairness in their lives. Sorry, I have no filter. Oh, so you're an asshole? No thanks. You immediately start hearing from them about all the time other people have hurt them, betrayed them, or otherwise been assholes to them. If everyone you encounter is an asshole, chances are, you're the asshole. You remind me of a guy I used to date. Subtle signs that they aren't remotely interested in you, and the only way you two are together is maybe because an obligation/favor. People change their tune often when they have to conceal their feelings of disdain for someone. Let's be honest, we often see these red flags, but deliberately push on to form a relationship. If the relationship goes bust, we critique ourselves for not heeding the warning signs. This is an unjust self-criticism. When they only talk about themselves. More than 2 to 2 teardrops. When they are instantly rude to e.g. waiters or strangers in general. Too much information too quickly. People who divulge too much about themselves from the offset generally have poor boundary issues. I speak from experience. I'm a recovering poor boundary haver. When they shake your hand way too fucking hard. Like WTF you psycho. I still remember you Ben you whack job. When they bring up topics out of nowhere, just so they can spout their opinions, and not actually have a conversation. It's very telling about their personality. When they constantly put down other people's opinions, even done in a nice way and only their way of thinking is right. They always go yeah but. Or actually I think. I have only ever met 2 men that I'm aware of who lied to me about their ages when we met. Both of these men turned out to be extremely unpleasant and abusive people. I dated one of them and knew the GF of the other one. I think people who lie easily even over trivial things tend to have very complex psychological problems and are best steered clear of. How they treat waiters/waitress, cashiers, janitors, bus drivers and everyone in the service industry. A coworker friend of mine left a bunch of trash at the cinema after we finished watching a movie. I angrily picked up his trash, chased him and told him to throw it away at the bin 3 meters outside of the cinema. And he replied, dude, why are you so Japanese? I did graduated from Japan. I'm just letting the janitors doing their job. No dude. It's not being Japanese. It's being having manners. Couldn't look at him the same way again ever since. When they are judgmental and critical of others, but never of themselves. They are carrying a big cross and wearing a white hood. People think I'm a bitch, but I'm really just blunt and tell the truth. They can't handle that. Now, chances are you're just a bitch. I have an unusual name. I don't mind when people ask me to repeat it, or even when they awkwardly ask about its origin. Dad is an immigrant. But when they are obnoxious about it, that's usually a good indication that they are stupid/an asshole. If they are unaware of people around them in a social sense, like they don't thank service staff or stand in the middle of crowded walkways and not move out of the way of others, congratulations, you have made friends with a toddler. This is not the biggest of red flags, just ones that have recently pissed me off. I'm not a racist, but they try to project their voice as loudly as possible to overplay their actual feebleness, but then the capillaries in their nose burst from the effort, and they grin at you through rivulets of blood seeping into the interstices between their perfectly bleached teeth. Of course, blood is an emetic, so they will retch, and eventually vomit out a perfectly formed sausage on the floor before you. It's a condom filled with cocaine. Turns out they're a drug mule. Everybody needs to make a living, but I'm wary of such people. If they can't take no for an answer. If they don't have any empathy at all. Their word choice. People who refer to women as bitches, men as dicks, or anyone by a derogatory term pertaining to them. If we are already friends and they use it jokingly / not meaningfully, then that's different. But people complaining about my bitch of an ex are almost always people I don't want to hang out with. When they ask how I have fun at parties, if I'm not drinking at them, they chew with their mouth open. If they nitpick your appearance, or do a give and take. I just talked to a girl from a dating app who did that. And after I called her out for being very rude, she doubled down. It's a red flag for emotional abuse, Imo. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Such a fucking narcissist thing to say. I usually test my friends to see if they are worthy of my friendship. Former friend. She told my GF she was testing her one day and now she's super confused as to why it didn't go over so well. People who lead with their trauma. None of that makes that person unique, nor will it excuse their bad behavior, which almost without fail will follow. When they have no problem dishing about others, especially friends, in a hateful way. Not only do I not want to hear what you have to say, but now I don't trust you. We should go out and get pissed tonight. Mate, we literally just met 2 minutes ago. I don't even know your fucking name. I'm not going to make myself vulnerable through alcohol with you at night in a dodgy town I've never been to, just because we have the same phone. When their macro expressions do not match up with their macro expression. 0.93% of communication is nonverbal. That is a large chunk of the way we get information about people, is from body language. And if people's subconscious macro expressions do not match the conscious macro expressions, they can come off as odd, off, or creepy. That tends to be a huge red flag there. It often means, importantly not always, they could just be having an off day, introverted or socially awkward, that their expressed feelings are non-genuine. Tells you the most intimate things about themselves and the people in their lives, like a listing garbage barge emergency or floating cargo. People that are not considerate with your time. Being 5 minutes late every so often isn't a big deal. But when people are consistently 20 minutes late and make people wait, say for a dinner. A few red flags for me are: they flake or cancel plans at the last minute constantly without reason. They rant about their personal problems and don't talk to you at all about common interests. They never have money on them, but ask you to take them around to places. A people user. They start drama such as fights with you or others. Toxic. When emergency situations happen, they are nowhere to be found or heard from. All they talk about is themselves and doesn't ask a single thing about you. I get the feeling that they just want to only talk about themselves. Doesn't care who it's to, and doesn't really care about the person they are speaking to. I don't fully know how to put it, but when you're talking, and it feels like they are just politely waiting for you to stop so they can talk about something else, like people who hold a conversation alone. They try to become close friends with you immediately when you've hardly known each other at all. They expect you to like them right away and don't seem to give you time to get to know them. When they monopolize a conversation. When they steer the conversation so that you end up being shown a phone full of photos. When they engage in a whole monologue about their health or relationship issues. When they brag a lot, if not about themselves then their family members. People who say I'm not the one, yeah you and everyone's mother. People who get defensive all the time over things they make up in their head, or people who are always trying to start a fight. Making disparaging remarks about other people, or treating service people like they are beneath contempt. Sometimes I will call them out, like, why do you want to talk that way about her/him, or why would you treat a server like that? This can start a whole conversation about negative behavior. Sometimes they just get pissed off and sometimes they make fun of me, but I like to hope that every once in a great while, someone gives it a second thought. I've seen a lot of answers along the lines of when they say negative things about others, which I agree with BTW, but for me a huge red flag is when someone can't let someone else receive praise or be the center of attention. I've met people in the past who have shown small signs of jealousy when I've praised mutual friends, siblings, strangers, etc. And in each case it was indicative of bigger jealousy and self-esteem issues that led to some messed up stuff. People who complain about other friends / coworkers / exes to you constantly. You may feel special, that they want to talk to you, and curious about what they are talking about. But they are saying, or going to be saying, the same things about you to everyone else.